Once upon a time, the American dream was simple. You worked hard, you bought a home, you owned your car, you built a life that was yours. There was pride in the struggle, not because it was easy, but because every step forward meant something was now yours to keep. A fence, a roof, a family car with scratches that told your story. Back then, freedom meant ownership. The dream wasn't about being rich, it was about being secure. It was about knowing that what you built with your hands couldn't be taken with a single missed payment. But somewhere along the way, that dream changed. Today, you don't buy, you subscribe. You don't own, you access. You rent your home, lease your car, stream your entertainment, and store your memories on someone else's server for $9.99 a month. Every piece of your life, from your sofa to your software, now comes with a renewal date. We traded the white picket fence for the white loading screen, the keys for the cloud, ownership for access. And it happened slowly, not through theft or collapse, but through convenience. We were promised freedom through flexibility. We were told that renting meant we could live lighter, move faster, worry less. But what we really built was a world where control and comfort are leased, and the lease never ends. The American dream didn't die. It just got financialized. It became a system, efficient, optimized, and quietly engineered to turn stability into subscription, to make sure that no matter how much you earn, you're never done paying. And the cruel part? It feels modern. It feels smart. Because why own something when you can access it instantly? Why build equity when you can upgrade next year? But buried underneath all that convenience is a truth no one wants to admit. We didn't simplify our lives, we monetized them. So before we talk about inflation or policy or wages, let's talk about the deeper shift. Because this isn't just an economic story, it's a cultural one, a generational one. The story of how the idea of freedom itself was redefined, from something you earned to something you rent. Owning used to mean freedom. Now it means liability. There was a time when owning something, a house, a car, a business, meant you were free. Today, it means you're in debt. We've entered the age of as a service. Everything is a subscription now. You don't buy, you rent, you lease, you finance. Not just the big things, but the small ones too. Housing, transportation, software, furniture, phones, even your attention has become a monthly payment plan. Let's start with the biggest symbol of the American dream, the home. Once a milestone of stability, homeownership has quietly turned into one of the most sophisticated debt traps ever engineered. Mortgages used to last 20 years. Now it's 30, sometimes 40. And the average person spends nearly half their adult life paying for a house they never fully own. The irony? Homeownership rates are lower than they were decades ago, despite record levels of debt tied to housing. Cars followed the same path. The average auto loan term is now over 70 months. That's almost 6 years of payments for a vehicle designed to depreciate the moment you drive it off the lot. And when that loan finally ends, the cycle begins again. New model, new payments, same illusion of ownership. Even our tools for work have been turned into recurring revenue streams. Remember when you could buy software once and use it forever? Today, Adobe, Microsoft, and nearly every major tech company have replaced ownership with subscriptions. They call it flexibility. But the truth is, you never really stop paying for the same thing. It's not just physical goods anymore. It's the entire structure of modern life. Streaming platforms, food delivery, gym memberships, online storage, digital news, even your dating life, all monetized, packaged, and auto-renewed. It's the illusion of freedom sold in convenient, monthly doses. Because access feels affordable. It feels manageable. $9 here, $19 there. You barely notice until you add it up. Until you realize you're not just renting your apartment, you're renting your existence, your entertainment, your productivity, your comfort, even your memories, all trapped behind paywalls. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that convenience is never free. Every subscription is a small surrender of ownership, of independence, of choice. And the system loves it that way, because in a world where everything is leased, control always stays with the lender. This is financialization, the quiet transformation of everyday life into an endless series of cash flows. Once, we saw things as tools, now they're assets. A home isn't a shelter, it's a financial instrument. Education isn't enlightenment, it's a balance sheet entry. Even your data, your habits, your time have become the new currency traded between corporations. The genius of it all is subtle. They didn't have to take ownership from us. They just had to convince us it was easier not to have it. The new dream feels cheaper until you add it up. It's never been easier to feel rich while quietly falling behind. We live in a world designed to make spending invisible, where every financial decision is broken down into smaller, friendlier pieces. Not $1,200 for a phone, just $49 a month. Not $40,000 for a car, just $400 a month. You don't notice the debt piling up because it doesn't look like debt. It looks like progress, like flexibility, like freedom. Until one day, you realize your entire life runs on autopay. It starts small. $15 for streaming, $30 for internet, $80 for software, $400 for a car, $1,200 for rent, $100 in buy now, pay later payments. Add it up, and you're not building wealth. You're servicing someone else's balance sheet. It's the illusion of affordability. Death by 1,000 subscriptions. And it's not an accident. It's design. See, corporations learned something powerful. We don't buy based on price. We buy based on monthly comfort. They realized if they could break a large number into smaller ones, your brain would stop treating it like a sacrifice. Behavioral economists call this payment salience. The less painful the payment feels, the easier it is to say yes. So they removed the pain. They made every purchase frictionless. One click, one tap, one fingerprint. And in doing so, they made ownership feel risky and debt feel normal. The old economy sold products. The new economy sells plans. Plans for your phone, your car, your house, your movies, your meals, even your friendships. Everything is wrapped in convenience, and convenience is wrapped in cost. They don't want you to stop and think, because thinking breaks the spell. The spell that says you're doing fine, that everything's under control, that $20 here and $10 there don't matter. But they do, because those numbers compound, not for you, but for them. Every automatic renewal, every late fee, every upgrade, every subscription tier, all of it feeds into the same machine, a system that converts your stability into someone else's revenue stream. You feel productive, you feel capable, you feel modern. But what you really are is managed. You've been trained to think in monthly terms instead of lifetime value, trained to prefer access over ownership, trained to accept that the price of convenience is your financial independence. This is the quiet brilliance of the modern economy. It doesn't need to take your money all at once. It just needs to make sure you never stop paying. Our grandparents built wealth by owning things that grew in value. We build payments that never end. The data makes it plain. Each generation owns less than the one before it. Fewer homes, fewer assets, smaller safety nets. Meanwhile, corporate ownership is surging. For decades, the American dream was a blueprint. Work hard, buy a home, raise a family, own a little piece of stability. It wasn't glamorous, but it was yours. Today, the dream looks different. Filtered, optimized, and available in monthly payments. We don't chase ownership anymore. We chase affordability. And in a world where everything is rentable, affordability becomes the new version of freedom. We measure success not by what we own, but by what we can temporarily access. The car we lease, the apartment we Airbnb, the luxury we borrow for a weekend and post before it expires. It's the great cultural pivot, from owning to appearing, from building a life to performing one. Social media didn't create this shift, it accelerated it. Because when everything is about the highlight reel, permanence starts to look boring. Flex culture replaced long-term wealth with short-term validation. We learned to value experience over equity and attention over accumulation. It's not that experiences are bad, it's that they've been monetized, branded, and sold back to us as identity. We call it freedom, but it's a freedom that expires every 30 days. A freedom that renews only if you can still afford it. The economy didn't just change how we spend, it changed how we think. It replaced long-term vision with short-term coping. And the result is a culture fluent in convenience, but starved for meaning. Because if everything is temporary, what's left to build on? The future belongs to those who take ownership back, not from corporations, but from themselves. Maybe the problem was never that we lost the American dream. Maybe it just got priced out of reach. For decades, the cost of living has risen faster than paychecks could chase it. Home prices doubled, then tripled. Rents exploded. Yet for most workers, wages barely moved. So when people stopped buying houses or cars and started renting everything instead, it wasn't just apathy, it was adaptation. Owning a home no longer feels like a milestone, it feels like a luxury. And so, for millions, renting became the only way to keep moving forward. But that's the trap hidden inside this new system. The same thing that made life more affordable also made it permanently payable. Our homes became mortgages, our apartments became lifelong leases, and our lives became a stack of monthly renewals that never end. Maybe this is the future of consumer life. Maybe we'll keep living in subscription mode, streaming, leasing, subscribing, upgrading, and maybe that's fine. Some of these things make life genuinely better. Netflix, Spotify, Photoshop, they're not going away anytime soon. But ask yourself, how many of them do you actually need? Do you really need Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO Max and Hulu and Amazon Prime, only to spend 15 minutes scrolling and still say, there's nothing to watch? Or pay $80 a month for software that you barely open and $40 for a gym membership you haven't used since February? Each of these seems small. Together, they're the quiet leaks that drain your future. You don't have to cancel everything and live off-grid. Just be aware. These trickles, these digital and financial drips, bleed you one payment at a time. I'm not saying don't rent. I'm saying rent consciously. Maybe keep one streaming service at a time. Cut the ones that don't serve you. Cancel that subscription that makes you feel productive just because you're paying for it. And here's the real pivot. Take the same $50 or $100 you freed up and put it somewhere that works for you, not against you. Invest it. Save it. Build with it. Turn every canceled charge into a contribution toward your own balance sheet, not someone else's. Because every subscription you cut isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. It's a small act of defiance against a system designed to rent you your own life back, one monthly payment at a time. When your next paycheck arrives, ask yourself, who gets richer first, me or the companies that bill me automatically? Every dollar is a vote. Make sure you're voting for your own future, not their bottom line. You don't need to quit the modern world, just learn to own your participation in it. Use subscriptions for what they are, tools, not traps. Leverage technology, but don't let it lease your freedom. Maybe the new American dream isn't about owning everything. Maybe it's about owning enough. Enough to build stability, enough to breathe, enough to choose. Because we didn't lose the dream, we just leased it out, one payment plan at a time. Now it's time to start buying it back. I'm the Uneducated Economist. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.